Okay, so now we want to talk a little bit more about right triangles. If you exchange the phrases if and then of an if-then statement, the result is called the converse of the statement. The converse of the Pythagorean theorem can be used to determine whether a triangle is a right triangle. Okay, so if a triangle has side lengths a, b, and c such that c squared equals a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is a right triangle. So if c squared is not equal to a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is not a right triangle. Okay, if a squared plus b squared equals c squared is true, then you have a right triangle. Okay, but if c squared is not equal to a squared plus b squared, then you do not have a right triangle. Okay, a Pythagorean triple is a group of three counting numbers that satisfy the equation c squared equals a squared plus b squared, where c is the greatest number. So for example, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 12, 13. Those are Pythagorean triples because 3 squared plus 4 squared does equal 5 squared, and 5 squared plus 12 squared does equal 13 squared. Multiples of Pythagorean triples also satisfy the converse of the theorem. So if you double all these numbers, you get 6, 8, 10. That's also going to be a Pythagorean triple. If you double all these numbers, you would get 10, 24, 26. That would also be a Pythagorean triple. In other words, 10 squared plus 24 squared would equal 26 squared. Okay, so if you have a Pythagorean triple, then those numbers can form an exact right triangle. So determine whether 9, 12, and 16 can be the lengths of the sides of a right triangle. So all you do is, since 16 is the largest, that has to be C, then A and B could be 9 and 12 or 12 and 9. It doesn't really matter how you set those up. So you start off with your Pythagorean theorem, substitute the numbers in, and this does 256 equal 81 plus 44? No, that equals 225. So since c squared was not equal to a squared plus b squared, then 9, 12, and 16 do not form a Pythagorean triple and therefore do not form a right triangle. Okay, so here's a couple for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video and hit play when you're ready. All right, so remember, we're always dealing with c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So the first one, we're going to do 30 squared, we're going to do 50 squared. Does that equal 40 squared plus 50 squared? 30 squared, rather. Okay, so 50 squared is 2,500. Does that equal 1,600 plus 900? Well, 2,500. 1,600 and 900 would give you 2,500. So yes, those numbers do form a Pythagorean triple, and therefore can be the measures of the lengths of the sides of a right triangle. So for this one, 18 is the largest, so you would have 18 squared equals 6 squared plus 12 squared. So 18 squared is 324. Does that equal 6 squared, which is 36, plus 12 squared is 4? So 324 and 36 and 144 is 180. So no, those do not form a Pythagorean triple and therefore cannot form a right triangle. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this section. Please continue on to your assignments. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions. Take care and make it a great day.